It's just 12 midday here in the UK under the spray. On what should be a glorious day. So we have the beginnings of this rainbow there. This camera's playing up today. I'm all for keeping it beautiful and natural, folks, because nothing compares to it, folks, nothing. And when you look at this, what I'm showing you now, it should be even bluer. And then you look at some of the days that I've video footage, folks, you know, you'd have to be utterly blind not to recognise that something nefarious is taking place. The distractions are still coming, thick and fast, every day, folks. Distractions with the royals, distractions on trains over here. Everyone focused on other things, folks. And we are being slowly, stealthily murdered en masse. En masse, folks. Think about that. A depopulation event. Where's the rainbow now? Depopulation event long underway now, folks. And people just refuse to believe that, refuse to accept it. The people like me, a tiny handful of us, we stealthily gather our evidence. We try and expose it as we time capsule it for a time in the future, like I keep saying every day, folks, for when it will be needed for future generations to that beautiful, folks, for future generations to look back on and to make the necessary changes to halt that shit being shat from height as chemical, heavy metal, nanoparticulate shite, not always at the nano level, folks, to blight much more than the light. And then we've got these fucking injections that people are taking willy-nilly, non-stop. Some people fucking paying for theirs, queuing up again, despite the warnings, despite more and more evidence coming out that these things are not safe and are not effective and never were safe or effective, and that cartels disguised as medics, disguised as banks, disguised as governments, disguised as your fucking nurses and your friends and doctors, disguised as big pharma, yeah, they're the ones that are harming you, folks, that are perpetrating all this for their own agendas, their own needs. And you think about it like I think about it, to get to where we are today, they needed us. They needed you and me and our grandparents and great-grandparents and so forth. But now with this supposedly inception of all this autonomous shit and the AI doing the fucking thinking, not for me, not for them, but doing the thinking to confuse the masses under their rose-tinted glasses, where they are more susceptible, more gullible to AI itself. which is a contradiction in terms, folks, a contradiction in terms. Artificial intelligence, think about that. Artificial intelligence is ridiculous. It's a pairing of a load of fucking nonsensical fucking words. Look at the natural here. The beauty. As we slip into winter, and quite quickly, folks, because we're involved in an engineered cool down, despite the fact that those engineering the cool down tell us that this so-called fucking earth is heating up, getting too warm, and they've got to jettison this shit as particulate dust to reflect the heat back into space, which is fucking laughable, folks. Whilst at the same time ionising and weaponising the air, creating a microwave environment that in effect makes us the frogs in the boiling water experiment, folks. So slowly but surely we're being boiled and embroiled in this nonsense that someone fucking dreamed up. You couldn't make up, but they fucking dreamed it up. So again, I'm working on another book. Try and get one out a month, or maybe one more before Christmas anyway, one every 2 months maybe at the moment. For cost, not for profit. I don't want fuck all from these things. But I would like people to contribute towards the books by way of writing what they think about all these crimes of transhumanism, the spraying of the sky, the injections, the scamdemic. You know, do it as a rant if you want. Don't worry about how you write it, because me and Debbie will neaten it up. We'll make it sound professional. We'll make it sound how it should for the people that we're targeting who are not yet born. Because I want them angry. I don't want them looking back on our story like we're shown history, where we are supposed to be endeared to what happened in the wars, and how we have our heroes, and how romantic they make it all, this fucking theatre of war. I don't want any romanticism attached to our story, all one word. Yeah, not history. History can be manipulated and can be rewritten to suit narratives and to steer populations into a certain direction and a way of living, folks. But our story, we're capturing it now as it takes place, as it took place. And I've got a hell of a lot of it, folks, over the past however many years. You know, so I'd like people, if possible, to email me anything that they've written, anything that they've drawn, you know, to do with this. If you're artistic and you capture this through your pen and pencils, and watercolours, oils, whatever. And if you're angry about it, folks, you know, like I am, write your thoughts down. Just write them down. You don't want to send them, you don't, but you've written them down. But believe me, once you've written them and then you reread your anger, you'll send it me. You'll want the people of the future to know how you felt and that you stood against us. Even if you've had these injections, you must be angry now, folks. You must be seeing that those of us who didn't take any of it are still fit and healthy. I've never got anything. And I don't get toxic, me. So I don't get what they call flu. I don't get what they call pneumonia. I don't get what they call colds. I have a beautiful immune system that I'm in tune with, folks. I can still just about make out the rainbow there, the end of it, over Long Mountain in mid Wales, Welshpool. If you want to look it up, Long Mountain. There aren't as many trees as there were when they started cutting them down. When Admiral Rodney ordered the trees to be cut down, apparently, for these vessels, these ships that then went out to sea and were sunk and still lay at the bottom. You know, complete and utter fucking waste of a life. That's the depopulation of the trees. You got Bill Gates now saying he wants to depopulate the livestock because of the farts, because of CO2. That is a marvellous, wonderful fucking thing. Without it, there would be no life. You know, and they talk about your carbon footprint, folks. They want you to eliminate it altogether by 2050. That's you gone, that's me gone, that's your grandchildren gone. And the only fucking things left alive will be these elites, as they call themselves. And what they call artificial intelligence, which I suspect won't be robots. They're too clumsy. Yeah. I think the mass depopulation will be of natural humans who have now been integrated into this artificial intelligence system with these MAC addresses they've been given, with these digital codes that can be read and processed, sending data in and stealing data from you if you've had these fucking injections, folks. So, for a long time we were led to believe a depopulation was coming, and we were kind of thinking that depopulation would be death of 95% of us. But 95% or more of the populace have had them injections and can now be controlled and considered not human and patentable. So there's your depopulation. Despite the fact these people are still here, still in existence, dying off slowly, dying off fast, getting turbo cancers and whatever, dropping dead of heart attacks and things. You know, it's a slow kill. Silent weapons for quiet wars, folks. And you can be targeted through your MAC address so easily, folks. You can be targeted. I'll get up to the tree and I'll shut up. You can be targeted. Target acquired using NexRad, using ARP, using radar, LiDAR, and other technologies that they don't admit they've got, so we don't know what they're targeting us with. Same as up in the air there, folks. They spray all these chemicals. And we know about a few of them, you know, but there are other chemicals they're developing constantly all the time that are not on patent. They've not been admitted to, so, you know, we can't look for them. Unless they tell us that they're spraying something they've invented, we can't look for it. We don't know its makeup or anything. But for sure, folks, they are spraying the skies. And they are weaponising the skies. But, you know, the beauty's still here. The beauty to life's still here. The blueprint is still here, folks. And I think that's what gripes these motherfuckers, is you can't go any further than the blueprint. Yeah, so they have to imitate so that they can patent their inventions. All they can do is imitate what's already here. They can't invent a new life form. It's just ridiculous. Although we're being told they have with these particulates, but they're not life forms. They may have a life of their own. They may regroup and accumulate, bioaccumulate, and form these networks and fretworks around the fucking brain and the heart, the lungs and everything else, systemically into your bones, into your marrow, your blood. But they're not natural life forms, folks. They never will be. And I think everything that they're doing is for a short-lived period of time, just so that they can get their own road and have their own fucking future. And they tell us that all this stuff, all these biometrics, and the way that people will be injected in future will be under the skin. And you look at Robert Kennedy now, and he's saying all the right things. In America, yeah, he's exposing these vaccines, now telling us, and it's now being accepted through court systems, that these things were harmful, always were, and they contained all these diploid cells and monkey kidney cells, monkey brain cells, dog cells, canine, bovine, equine, etc., and should have never been shot into people, causing all kinds of diseases like MS and cancers and goodness knows what, folks. He's saying all the right things because he knows now that the vaccines have had their day. Yeah, the injectable vaccines. And then you have the likes of Noah Harari from the World Economic Forum, who tells us that all the future updates for vaccines will be under the skin. They'll be digital. And when you think about how they can now, through all these heavy metals we've ingested, through the toxicity of the injections people have had and all the fucking foods and the water, they can do just that, folks. They can do that. They can digitally. They've tried it all out with fucking soldiers. And they've been secretly testing this stuff since the 80s at least. So we know now that they can program information into us, as well as take that information from us using our wireless body area networks, and us feeding that area network into someone else's area network. So it's a body-to-body area network and a medical area network, and all these things you can look up on your search engine, whether it's Google or Swiss Cows or DuckDuckGo, whatever. You type in wireless body area network, look at the images, never mind reading the technical stuff because that'll put you off. Just look at the images. Yeah, and the stories there in the pictures, every picture tells the fucking story. And then look at the body-to-body area networks, wireless body-to-body area networks, and the wireless medical body area networks. It's all fucking there, and it's all taking place. Now, it's not coming. It got patented 30, 40, 50, however many fucking years ago, folks. They patented this stuff and then wasted, should I say, trillions developing this fucking stuff. So they have got total control over every aspect of every living, breathing fucking thing. Not just me and you, folks. Not just your grandkids or your great-grandkids that may or may not fucking come at the end of all this. But the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is in the hopes that if there is a survivable fucking natural species of man and woman at the end of this, not fucking trans or any of that nonsense, then I'm hoping that they will be able to regroup, look at what we've left them and time capsuled them, and then at some point make their assault on those fuckers that fucked their ancestors off, me and you. And that's it, folks. Look at this beautiful, beautiful species here. Yeah. And slowly but surely all these trees are succumbing to the heavy metals and the particulates, whether they're at the nano level or not. They're uptaking it through the root systems, through the water, through the soils, the grasses, everything. It's a fucking time bomb, folks. And it's primed to explode at some point. And I just hope that the majority of it goes tits up and that it doesn't have the desired effect these motherfuckers, these secret societies want to achieve. I hope it doesn't. Well, they're going to get away with some of it because they already have. And like I say, they've injected over 95% of the populace with these weapons in this quietest, silent war, folks, known as the vaccines. And these people can now be targeted through their MAC address, through the addresses and the barcode system from off of that address. It can be read Yeah, from person to person, from cell tower to cell tower, from router to router, from smartphone to smartphone, smart meter to smart meter, smart watch to smart fucking watch. And I'm angry because I don't want this to fucking change. I don't. Yeah, we should be left in fucking peace. And we're not. Because there are people out there with far too much money, yeah, who have got nothing better to do than try and fucking make the life that they want. You know, we all have ideas of how, and you think about James Bond, how there were evil villains in that wanted to rule and cruel and change the world for their own nefarious fucking ends, yeah? And here we are, the World Economic Forum, all the royals, all your fucking government idiots, the doctors, nurses, the majority know what's taking place. But they're in it for the fucking wealth that they think they're getting off it, yeah? But wealth is not health, folks. Wealth is not fucking health. And with that shot from me under the tree, enjoying an half beautiful, bluish, but spewish day, I kid ye not. You see it? Because I do, folks. I see everything